Good evening and welcome to the program, The Nighttime Heat. Tonight on this beautiful Friday, I hope you are close to your radio, you are watching, you are viewing because we're going to have an interesting discussion tonight. This program is aired on Prom FM 105.5 and also relayed on a Radio King Toma and a Lofa County, Radio Gegema in Nimba County, and Radio Quatique in Bon County, and a host of other stations around Monrovia. Well, also, we are streaming live on Prom FM, Monrovia 105.5. So what you do is to just share the show. Again, use your phone, your laptop, tap Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. It's Saturday today. We'll have as our guest the man who is often referred to as the Waterman, but he's the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporations. That is at 8:30. You'll be here. We'll talk about his institution, some of the gains and challenges, and of course, we transition into politics. So be there, because today's edition will be an interesting and fantastic edition. Well, I'll be joined by my panelists, Moses Sandy. Sandy will shortly join me. Saba George is my name. We'll be right back after the same.
0. Let's start.
Let's start, and of course, we're about to start. We are on the YouTube live. So if you just go on your phone and tap Nighttime Heat, you're going to follow live on YouTube. Very, very shortly, we'll be speaking with Franklin Dolokwi. Franklin's our reporter, and of course, he's based in Nimba County. We are hearing something happening in Nimba, and so Franklin Dolokwi will be bringing us up to speed. And then after which, we'll be speaking with Moses Mowen. He's from Lofa County. Something is happening there. We understand deaths that occurred in succession. In fact, deaths of 2 little kids. We'll be hearing more about that. Very, very shortly, I will speak with Franklin Dolokwi. But in the meantime, make sure you share the show. Tap on your phone, Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. Again, Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. And then you share the show. The reason why we often ask you to share the show is to just, allow your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners to also be in the loop, to also be aware of what is coming out of the Nighttime Heat tonight. So share the show. At 8:30, we'll have Mo Ali. Mo Ali, apart from being the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mo Ali was in the trenches, he's amongst those who fought very hard to bring the rescue mission to the presidency. So are they rescuing properly? Are they rescuing well? Are they rescuing to the satisfaction of the people? When we transition into politics, Mo will be answering all those questions about the rescue mission. In the meantime, let's try to connect with Franklin Dolokwi or Moses Mowen. Let's try to connect with Moses quickly to bring you an interview with him. Moses is our reporter, and of course, he's based in Lofa County. That's the home county of the president, His Excellency Joseph Yumamboy. We have a reporter from there because Mr. President wants you to follow what is happening and coming out of your county, whether positive or whether negative. So we're trying to connect with Moses. As soon as we get Moses He works for one of the radio stations in Norfolk County, but he's our reporter, he's our stringer for the nighttime heat. So again, just go on YouTube currently and tap in the section nighttime heat, and of course, we're going to follow live. We are going live on YouTube tonight. So just again, tap on the search session. Go to the search session on YouTube on your phone and tap nighttime heat. And of course, you're going to see this program live on YouTube. Those of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, it's time for you to follow live on YouTube. So let's try to speak with Moses. Moses is our reporter, is our stringer rather, from Norfolk County. Moses, welcome to the nighttime heat.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Josh, and it's a pleasure to be live on the NTH on Prime FM.
Thank you very much. Moses, how's Norfolk County?
Norfolk County is, as what Frenchman says, comment ci, comment ça. That means some day good, some day bad. Some things are good, some things are bad. But as it stands now, Zaza district is not really okay based on the incidents that have occurred in Zaza district.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
What sort of incidents are you making reference to?
On Sunday, a 6-year-old, 5 to 6-year-old, because I was told by the parents and also the CRD commander, that's the Crime Services Division of the Labrador National Police in Zozo, said that next week going to be her, was to be her birthday. Went missing on Sunday, and her lifeless body was found. And also yesterday, another incident took place in Konya. Konya is one of the towns. Is poised to be a district seat in the Ziema Clan in Zozo district, where a 2 to 3-year-old child went missing.
So, what are the parents of those kids? 5 to 6 years first died, went missing rather, and then 3-year-old as well, 3-year-old. So, what are the parents saying now?
On Sunday, according to what we've gathered from the parents and also from the Crime Services Division of the Labrador National Police, they've said to us that the parent of this little girl, in the name of Suwa Gavlo, was playing with her friends in the community. And when the mother came from church that afternoon, so she met them, they were playing, and she left, went to the house. But this is one of the things that people are like really thinking, how really did this happen? So they were like playing in the midst of other people. It's like you have parents putting them in a triangle form. Parents were like in a triangle form, but they were in the middle as children playing. So when the mother got through boarding a cassava, and she decided to call the deceased now, Suwa Gavlo. And so when she called, she couldn't see her daughter. And later did she get to understand that her daughter was no longer to be found in the midst of the rest of the children who were playing together when she came and met her kids. So I mean, they were like searching for a while, and the little girl was not found. And so she raised a concern. She raised concern to the town authority, the village authorities. This incident took place, Mr. George, in Feasible, one of the villages in Feasible. That is where this particular incident took place. So when the incident took place, he tried to inform the rest of the authorities, and that's how they launched investigation into the matter. From Sunday, that same Sunday evening, they tried to send some men in the bush to see how best they can search for this particular little child. So they searched from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They couldn't find the child. So up to Thursday, yesterday, when the information came to the Labrador National Police right here, then they also connected, or they got in contact with the Crime Services Division So that was how the crime services division, headed by one Patrick, and also some local authorities, local landlords, and some stakeholders in Zozo. They decided to go and visit the crime scene. So when they went there after 12 search, they went and saw the lifeless body of this little girl, Suwa Gabriel, floating on top of the water. And according to what we've gathered from the crime services division, so they said to us that where the little girl was found, she that area is a creek, but where she was, that area is a little bit deeper. So, but that means you can leave from that particular area, or you can leave from that particular place and take a stroke down to go and get water from the other side, or where people can go.
Okay, Moses, are the parents of the deceased, those kids who died, are the parents attributing it to rituals, or what are they saying?
So what happened when the little girl was being found? That Swag Givler, when Swag Givler was being found, they set up a 15-man jury to go and do an assessment on the remains. And so they came up. They said there was no foul play on the body after 12 investigation. But this is one of the one of the controversial issues that people are raising out. I mean, to say that how will children be playing just with ear trim of an eye, and one child just get missing from that particular area. So people are saying some of those things in some corners. That's part the juror said that there was no foul play, but it still raises concern. People are still saying again, Zozo district have started, because Zozo district is one of the districts in Lofa County that has been known for people getting missing, and when they get missing, it's difficult to find them alive.
Wow.
It's difficult really to find them alive.
So as you speak, there's no one in the police custody or in police investigation?
No, as we speak, based on the jurors examination, they said there was no foul play. Yes, there's no one is currently on a police custody. To be going through investigation.
Okay, so have the bodies been buried now?
Yes, after the 12 examination from the 15-man jury that was set, and when they reported that there was no foul play, so they turned the cops over to the family for interment. For interment.
Many thanks, Moses Moan, who always been in contact with you from Lofa County to give us to fill us in with what's happening from the county. Many thanks.
Always my pleasure, Mr. George.
Okay, let's try to bring our panelist Moses Sands on. I'm trying to see Moses. Moses, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Thank you, Sova. So coincidentally, we have two Moses tonight.
Yeah, sure. Two Moses tonight. Yeah. Moses Owen is our stringer, and of course he's based in Lofa County. We thought to just secure one from Lofa so as to allow our president to also be on top of what is coming out of Lofa. Whether good or bad, Moses.
I think that's good. That's good. It's if we can succeed in getting correspondence across the country, that would be very helpful. Coming.
Oh yes, surely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Moses, let me try to speak with the last correspondent, Franklin Dolo Kui, very, very shortly. But at 8:30, we'll have on the line, he will be joining us, the Managing Director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation, Mo Ali. We'll speak with Mo Ali, I'm sure, for the next 35 minutes on some of the gains he's made and challenges and prospects of the LWSC and then later on transition into politics. Mo was amongst the four soldiers, let me put it that way. He was amongst those who are all in the trenches and trying to struggle to get the rescue mission to the presidency. So whether they are now rescuing well, whether they are rescuing to the satisfaction of the people, Mo will be here to tell us more about that. That is how it said, Moses. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here. We are live on YouTube. Moses, I'm sure it's something that you feel comfortable with, and a news that you'll be happy about. We are currently live on the YouTube.
Oh wow, that's good news. I'm happy to hear that. So it's like nighttime heat is now going places. So those of you who follow the podcast, I just want to ask you to continue to share the link and invite more people. We are breaking the stories. We want you to be a part of the stories. Thank you, Saba.
Yes, we are going live today on YouTube, and of course, we'll continue to go. Let's try to see what we can connect with Franklin Dolokui quickly. As soon as we get Franklin, we'll put Franklin on. Franklin's phone is ringing. Let's try it. Franklin is from Nimba County. He's our stringer from there. Franklin is now on the line. Franklin, good evening.
Thank you very much, Saba George. Good evening.
How you doing, Franklin?
Well, we praise God for long life.
What's the big news coming out of Nimba County, where the vice president is from?
It seems to be the electors or an imbalance. They are not in disarray with their own lawmakers. On ground that the lawmakers during their election period or campaign period, there were a lot of promises that were made. Some of them said within 90 days, we're going to do X, Y, Z, but they are yet to fulfill it. So those aggrieved nobody have organized themselves to raise issue with those lawmakers. For example, they are raising issue with District Number 1 Representative Samuel Gomakoga, Samuel San Nikuma Brown, District Number 2 Nyang Kasi Flomo, District Number 3 is Neke Gay, District Number 4 is Ellen Mansi, District Number 5 now is yet to announce by election. Samuel Koga was there, he just won the St. John election. District Number 6 is hello?
Yes, let's not call all of them, but are the citizens making reference to all of them for failing to report to them?
Yeah, that's the question. But they are claiming that the lawmakers, with the exception of Jan Flomo God, they say it was of recent Jan Flomo King, Representative Jan Flomo, District Number 2, King, where he have a meeting where he gave his report, his annual report, his legislative report.
Okay, so you say
the rest of the lawmakers from
they failed to do the yes.
They have failed those lawmakers. You mean with the exception of one, which is Jan Flomo.
What's about
the rest of the district?
Franklin? What's about Koga, the man who was just recently elected as senator? Did he report to the people as representatives before seeking the senatorial seat?
That's the question. When I posed the question, I said when he was there, it was he only did an annual report 2 different times, even though he spent 12 years there. But they are claiming that he only sent report 2 times. But even though I placed a call to the lawmaker, now he's a senator, but the phone are not been able to get to him.
Okay.
This is what the citizens are saying. So they are also claiming with the exception of Jan Flomo or these 2, the rest of the lawmakers, they mean from District 1, District 3.
We heard that from you, Franklin. We heard that from you. So, in another word, Franklin, in another word, the citizens are disenchanted. They are not happy with the lawmakers.
Yes, they are unhappy. They are not happy with our lawmakers because they are claiming that those promises that our lawmakers made, they are yet to be fulfilled.
Okay. Many thanks, Franklin. We really appreciate your time this evening on the nighttime heat. Franklin Dolokui, our correspondent. Moses, you heard Franklin talking about the disenchantment of the citizens in Nimba County as a result of the lawmakers not reporting to them.
Well, there is. I don't want to come across as being a pessimist. I want to be saying as someone coming in with some level of hope. One thing I have learned over the years, I'm sure some of you may have also noticed that uh, when our politicians are campaigning, they will make a lot of promises. When they
Mhm.
are given the opportunity, they renege on almost everything. I mean, you tell me. Let's take for example the situation with Senator Koga, then Representative Koga. If what this reporter is saying is true, if this guy served in the House of Representatives for hypothetically 13 years, and the people in the district are saying that he made only 2 reports to the district, that's dismal performance. How do you do 2 reports in 13
But
years?
again, yes, again, I agree with you. It's this more performance. But again, Moses, the same people were the ones who elected the man to the Senate. You know exactly that this is a man who has performed very dismally or poorly. He was not able to report to you, people to tell you as to what he has done for you and what he intended to do. Yet he came back to you and said, "Look, elect me to the Senate," and they elected the man. So the thing is, Moses, sometimes I don't want us to blame or squarely put the blame on our politicians. Our people themselves, they voted themselves, they bring the problem to themselves.
I definitely agree with you. Look, so about one of the greatest challenges we have in Liberia is poverty.
Hmm.
Our politicians manipulate the electorate. They give them back a rice and they give them chicken change. The man goes to campaign, he literally dishing out money. Yeah. I mean, take for example, the last by-election, the campaign activities. We saw how people were dishing money out in Nimokane. Our people are being exploited by politicians because when our electorate go to vote, they don't vote on the basis of uh, philosophy or what the person hopes to accomplish. It's about what do I get for myself? What do I
Mhm.
get for myself? Oh, we're from the same political party, or we come from the same ethnic group. And when you vote like that, then the country or the district is defeated because the elect people who lack the ability to perform, who have no vision, who have no vision. I mean, how do you promote somebody to the Senate that served in the House of Representatives for 13 years and made only 2 reports? If it is true, 2 reports, and you elevate this guy to the Senate, it's sad.
That's the politicians we have. Like you said, when they want the votes from the people, they will come with all of the flowery promises to tell our people, vote for me and I'll build you skyscrapers, vote for me and I will do this. And they use our people as pawn, they use them, and at the end of the day, they don't deliver on the promises. They don't deliver on what they promise the people. At the end of the day, the people themselves, and this is the reason why Moses, like I said to somebody, I said there'll be a time that people will be disinterested in going to the poll because you vote for a politician, he comes to you with all the good promises, and he said, "Look, cast your ballot for me," and you listen to him, you enter that social contract, you cast the ballots. At the end of the day, you can get any deliverables from that politician. At the end, you will not be encouraged anymore to go to the poll to vote for somebody else or another politician that comes to you. So there'll be a time, Moses, in this country that people will be disinterested. People will not want to even go to the poll to elect anybody because our politicians, they will come and tell you, some of them will come and tell you, this, I will do this for you, I will do this for the community. At the end of the day, how can you promote a man, elect a man to the Senate? A man who's been in the legislature for close to 15 or 14 years. Unfortunately, the man could not even report to his constituency. He couldn't report to his constituency to say, look, this is what I'm doing and this is what I intended to do. But it's just sad, man. Moses is sad. At 8:30, we'll have the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mo Ali, will be our guest on the program. We'll speak with Mo Ali for 35 minutes on basically some of the major gains he's made, some of the challenges he faced. Because I know one of the questions I want to ask Mo, whether he was able to complete the entire Monrovia, whether everybody in Monrovia, has water before going across Monrovia. You have to answer that. What's the rationale? When you can serve the people in Monrovia, why would you go to Babel or other places to give people water there? So he's coming at 8:30, and of course, we're going to grill more in a more respectful, but in a more serious and serious manner. Will be grilling more as soon as it comes. And besides, we transition into politics because Mo was amongst those who were in the trenches. He was amongst those who were beating the drum and marketing the Unity Party to come to power. Now that they've come on the matter of rescue, are they rescuing well? Are they rescuing to the satisfaction of the people? So Mo will have to answer all the questions, Moses.
I definitely agree. That is going to be a very interesting interview tonight. Like you say, Mo is going to come and tell us his accomplishments, challenges, his vision for a better water and sewer, in the future, what he intends to see years from now. So you will be speaking on those critical issues, and then we'll also grill him. Mr. Ali is former Secretary General of the Unity Party. He was one of the guys in the trenches, one of the rescue soldiers. So are the people benefiting for what, they were in the trenches for? So we hope that Mo is getting ready to come and explain all these. I know right now many people are looking forward to hearing from the managing director. So we look forward to seeing too. Yeah.
Yeah, surely. He should be joining us at 8:30 so that we can begin the interview. But listeners and viewers, you can share the show. Just tap on your phone, on your mobile phone, or your laptop. Pram FM Monrovia 105.5. Again, Pram FM Monrovia 105.5. Those who do have your phone with you, just make sure you share so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow. We are also live tonight on the YouTube. If you have your phone, just tap in the search column, just tap Nighttime Heat. And of course, you're going to watch this program live on YouTube. If you are there, and of course, you want to watch it on YouTube. If you are in the diaspora, you can get this program on YouTube. Very, very shortly, we take a musical break. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. I don't know what my producer have a music there, but we'll take a break and then we'll be right back. When we come back, I'm sure Mo Ali will be in studio with us. Okay, welcome back to the nighttime heat. We're trying to connect with Mo Ali. We're hoping that we can get him as soon as possible, so that we start the discussion uh, with uh, with Mo. But Moses, I don't know whether you heard that today. Senator, Senator Bowman County Senator Melvin Snow visited paid a visit to the residence of the president today. In fact, he held a lunch, he held breakfast rather, with the president, and after which he went on his Facebook page and indicated that that meeting was arranged through the pro temp and the vice president. He said it was in line with the spirit of national reconciliation and unification. What do you think about that visit?
Well, it sounds good. Whether we like it or not, the president uh, is the head of state. The president is the most important political figure in the country. So having a good relationship with the president is very important. The judiciary will not succeed if people in the judiciary are at loggerhead with the president. The legislative branch of government will not succeed if people in the legislature are at loggerhead with the president. Yes, we have three distinct branches or independent branches of government, but they are coordinated. So I think from that perspective, it is good that our political leaders continue to engage. But whatever they do, my suggestion would be that it should be about the good of Liberia. It should not be about what do I get for myself. It should not be
Mm.
about personal egos. And so, but you and I will agree that all the year, this is what we have seen. Some of these meetings are held when the people don't have access to the presidency. You will hear them make all these tough statements. Now, when they begin to sit and talk to the president, then the tone change, the way of doing things change, the advocacy will change. You know how tough Snow has been in recent times. So
Mhm.
clearly stated that President Walker does not respect the rule of law. The government was proceeding wrongly. So I hope that meeting with the president today, that is not going to change the disposition of the senator. If the president is in the wrong, he should call the president out. It should not be about blind loyalty. That would be my advice.
Yes, I think he said that. I was reading through what he wrote, and he said meeting the president that basically will not change his the manner in which he used to always speak, in line with some of the things that are happening. He said he remains the same Snow. He remains critical, but he's going to do it in the spirit of patriotism and love for country. He said, when I read through, he said his meeting with the president was basically, to just enhance and foster the unification, process. He believes that, there should be togetherness amongst the leaders. So he was quite, pleased. In fact, I saw a photograph of him, holding the hands, shaking the hands of the president, and he did a photograph. I also saw another photograph of the pro tem, the vice president, and the president. So I'm hoping, that others can follow suit. Moses, we can continue to be divided on this on the line of politics, because it hurts our country. It hurts the productivity of even the government itself. Because as a government, you can be in confusion, or you can be in a situation where you and the other politicians are not talking, or are not on talking term, or are not coordinating well. It doesn't help your success as well. because when you find out that there's some the George Weah, the Ellen Sirleaf, the Benon Ayure, the Cummings, and the rest of them, they are not. If it does happen, where they are not, coordinating with the current administration, it's not going to help our country. What happens next is that the government will not really achieve what it's supposed to achieve, because you need every hands on deck. And like Snow said when he met the president, he spoke about the issue of inclusion. He spoke about that, and this is something I'm sure many of the opposition politicians will have problem with, especially with this government. There's a need for inclusion. I can remember during the Weah's administration, we had a couple of unity party scenes. In fact, in that government, in fact, the son of the president, the son of the former president, also served in that administration until when the time came, he asked Mr. Weah to step aside and then go to help with the campaign of his father. So the country is just one country. We can have ourselves divided along the line of politics, and we can have ourselves divided, because at the end of the day, it's not going to help the country in any way. It's not going to help our reconciliation process. A house divided against itself cannot stand. So I'm hoping that other politicians can follow suit, like what Snow did, and we're hoping that others can follow suit. But Mo Ali will shortly join us. I'm seeing that Mo should be around his at the backstage, and let's try to see how we can get Mo quickly online. Mr. Managing Director, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Mo is muted.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
I'm okay, Mr. MD. How are you doing also?
I'm doing wonderful, and thanks for the show. Also, thank you for the invite.
Okay. Well, we just want to say thank you. Also, want to give you that plaudits for coming to attend, coming to appear on the Nighttime Heat tonight. Your first major appearance, I'm sure. And rest assured, it's going to be very, interactive, and we're going to be, respectfully interactive and frank with you, and asking all the hard questions as well. So I know, Moses, you want to greet our guests.
Yeah, definitely, Mr. Ali. It's a pleasure meeting you virtually. I've seen you via Spoon Network. I follow your work. You're one of the gurus of the Unity Party. So it's indeed a pleasure, getting to meet you via, internet. I hope that we can have a fruitful discussion. I've also been tracking your work, water and sewer, your activities in the Unity Party, your political career, your political activities, some of your policy statements in the media. I've been consistent in following. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Moses, and it's a pleasure to meet you as well. And I'm happy to be on the show with you.
Okay, so one of our panelists, Fatima Sirleaf, is able to be here tonight. I think she has got some guests in town, and so she's on an assignment. So unfortunately, she asked that I announced that she'll be unable to be on the program tonight. But Mr. MD, welcome to the program. Mr. MD, welcome to the program.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't know my mic was muted.
Okay, so we'll have a discussion with you for close to 35 minutes, basically on some of the the achievements you've made, your gains, your achievements against your challenges and prospects for me 35 minutes, and we'll cross over or transition to politics. Mr. Ali, you are one of the major asset, in fact, history, the party. You've been in the trenches. You've been making all the efforts to bring the party to the presidency. And today we have you. It's a time to ask, so that you can be able to gauge with us, assess the performance of the government, assess the performance of your administration. But we'll come to that later on. We want to first engage you, ask you about some of the successes you've made at the LWSC. So please feel free and be comfortable. We are all your good friends. So please, listeners and viewers, share the show. Share the show we have tonight. The managing director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation. Of course, also, we are going live on YouTube tonight. We are going live. If you are in the diaspora, just go to the search column and just tab Nighttime Heat. You follow this program on YouTube. So, Mr. Ali, again, welcome. And the first question to you, how did you meet the LWSC, and what are some of the interventions you've made so far, if I told you made some interventions?
Thank you, Sabo. Well, normally it's really difficult to say how we met the LWSC, and is a question that I usually grapple with. However, let me try to throw some light. So when we took over the LWSC on March 1, 2024, we had several problems, but there were also prospects and potential for growth and the development of the entity. So some of the major challenges that we had to overcome, some of the immediate challenges. One was the fact that there were intermittent water supply at the entity to the customers, to the public. Basically, that was due to the infrequent supply of electricity. The next one was the consistent inadequacy of chemicals. We met a workforce that was demotivated. They were not paid on time. Of course, the streets of Monrovia were all, filling over with sewage from the sewage line, the sewage network in Monrovia. And then we had issue with the current ongoing 48-inch pipeline construction that should replace 10 kilometers of the 36-inch pipeline, which convey water from White Plains treatment plant through the Painesville to Monrovia. We had the issue of revenue collection very low. And so those were issues that we met. Then, of course, Central Monrovia had gone for a protracted period of time. Some estimate that more than 10 years they were out of pipe water supply. And those issues we had to overcome. And of course, some of our infrastructure wasn't all that good. Some were in dilapidated conditions, some got burned. At the White Plains treatment plant, we didn't have a chlorine dosing unit, and so the crew there were just dosing the chlorine manually. So those were challenges we had to overcome. And then the first thing was to regularize water supply, discuss with the LEC, and get a definite schedule of power supply to the treatment plant. So once we regularize water supply, our next challenge was to restore water supply after a decade or so absence from Central Monrovia, which we did successfully with help from the World Bank. And then the next challenge was to ensure that we minimize or eliminate the spillage of sewage in the streets of Monrovia, particularly the center of the city. That to a very large extent, we have succeeded, and we are trying to completely control it. And I would say, thanks to the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance for 100% financing that. Our booster station, the water booster station at Cowell Junction, got gutted by fire about 2-3 years ago. We had a challenge to rehabilitate that. Again, we got funding 100% from the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance. We rehabilitated the booster station, and that is now helping to increase the water pressure and water supply to the entire Bush Road Island. And as we speak now, we are beginning to pump water across the St. Paul Bridge and discussing about connecting customers. We are minimizing the leaks that we see. Then another major thing that we had to contend with is the issue of so many manholes in Central Monrovia open. If you take a survey now, you see that most of those manholes, we are closing them. And then you see that also we had to do demolition of structures that people constructed on the sewage line, on the water line, which made it utterly impossible for previous management teams to tackle the sewage problem in Central Monrovia. We took a bold step in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works to get the public works to mark the structure and begin to demolish them. And that demolition exercise is going to continue. Now, we also are going to extended our work outside of Monrovia, because Monrovia is not the only place that we are supposed to work. We rehabilitated. We discussed with the management team, the private contractor in Rabosport, and we revamped the agreement. They are now operating fully with water supply in Rabosport. We concluded arrangement with the private contractor in Sanikole for water supply there. And that private contractor is doing extremely well. In fact, he has introduced prepay meters in Sanikole. We also have a good working relationship renegotiated with the private contractor in Bonjama, and they are now doing very, very well there, even though there are challenges of payments from customers. Then we also managed to construct a portable water system in Bakulu, and that system is still under the defect and liability period. The contractors are still testing it. There are some intermediate challenges which they are working on, but on the overall, this is what we're doing. And in the future, we are going to construct water system for the first time in Plibo City in Maryland. We've got initial funding from the Ministry of Finance. The water system in Greenville, Sino County, has been down for over 30 years. The only thing we can salvage from there is the reservoir. Again, the Ministry of Finance has allocated initial 500,000 for us to begin the construction of a water supply system there. They've also allocated 300,000 for rehabilitation of the Zwozu water supply system. And I can also say that we are current with salary payments of our staff. They are motivated, they're working very hard. So, in a nutshell, that's how we met the water and sewer. And these are some of the interventions that we've made. Of course, when we took over, revenue intake for 2023 around 1.3 million. In 2024, we managed to increase that by more than 600,000. Our revenue intake went to around 1.9 million. This year, we expected to increase our revenue by over 2 million. So we projected 2.2 million. We were on course of getting that until this recent rupture in the 36-inch pipe. And that pipe is one of our major challenges. It ruptures very, very frequently. Just this year, we've had 4 major rupture, and the current one is now which we are working on. So that is the water and sewer that we met, and this is the water and sewer that we have now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Managing Director. Moses, I know you will come, but let me ask. Yes, you just said it, that you inherited a whole list of problems, challenges, and thank you also for the interventions. But can we say, Mr. Managing Director, that we'll now have water across the entire Monrovia? Because I know part of Bushwa Island you have water, but do we have water across the entire Monrovia now?
Well, if we are talking about Monrovia, as in the definition of Monrovia, excluding Pinsville and the surrounding communities, yes, Monrovia, that is from Bushwa Island to Central Monrovia to Sinko, Congo Town. Yes, water is running through the pipes, but we cannot say everyone is connected, because connecting to the homes that is a decision that the homeowners families have to make. There are still challenges with connecting, the fees to connect people. We run the pipes in the communities, but individuals are responsible to ensure that we bring water to your house. And now there are many families who cannot afford the cost of running the pipe to their houses. So in fact, there are some interventions being made by the World Bank. So they've just signed a contract with Tenda construction company to connect 2,500 homes. That is going to start in the next 1 week or so. So 2,000 new homes, 2,500 new homes, we will connect them to the water supply system. So, but yes, largely across Monrovia and Pinsville, we have water, and we are still fighting to connect new communities.
What is it like to get connected to your system? Let's assume somebody who doesn't have water, they are listening to you tonight. What is it like to connect to your system to begin getting water in their homes?
So the first step is to go and register, fill in the form at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, or you can do that online at www.lwsc.gov.lr, or go on our Facebook page. You can download the form, fill it in, and carry it along with a valid ID card and a passport size picture. Now, when you're registering, you have to make sure that the property you are registering, you are the owner, or you have a written permission from the owner of the property to register the property. Now, when the registration is done, we send a team to conduct assessment. And the major aim of the assessment is to see how far is the water pipe from your house, because that connection to your house, you are responsible for it. And then they will do the assessment, and they will give you the list of materials that they will need to connect you. And then you will pay $70. $60 of that 70 is for the meters, the meter that will connect to your system, and then $10 is the registration fee. But as I speak, we are now trying to transition from the postpay meter, the mechanical meters, to prepay meters. We've already started piloting them, and we'll roll out the pilot system for the next 1-2 months. Once it works well, then we will transition all of our customers to prepay meters.
Okay. Okay, listeners and viewers, kindly share the show. Just tap on your phone, Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Morovia 105.5, and then you share the show. Tonight we are going live on YouTube. Just go on your phone and tap. Just look in the search column and tap Nighttime Heat. You follow this conversation with the managing director of the national of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation. I'll come back, but Moses, I'm sure you have your question there.
Mr. Ali, it seems that you and your team are really doing a remarkable job at water and sewer. But the concern I have is that with over 20 years of water shortage in Monrovia, and you're coming in with limited resources, don't you think it would have been better to have a complete grip of Monrovia, where I know that being able to connect individual homes, there has to be access. You're going to run pipes into neighborhoods and all of that. So don't you think it would have been better that, hey, now we have Monrovia under control, or we have Montserrat County under control? Now we will begin to reach out on a gradual basis. I'm just speaking. When you have a handful, it makes your job a little bit difficult. Don't you think you're having too much on your plate? You are in Sino, you're in Bokolo, you're in Nimba, and you're trying to do everything with limited resources. So help us understand. Don't you think you have a lot on your plate?
Well, let me admit that we have a lot on our plate, but again, it is our statutory responsibility to reach out to those places. And why we are doing the Morovia water supply system, that is bringing water to Pinsville, Morovia, and surrounding communities, we cannot forget about other counties, because Morovia is not the only place. Morovia is not Liberia, and so we have to reach out to those places, and people live there. They are part of our operational jurisdiction, so we need to go to those places. We have much focus on Morovia, Pinsville, but these counties as well, they are capitals. They need water. So if we just focus on Morovia and forget about them, you see, that's why sometimes you get disease outbreaks, the waterborne diseases and everything. And so we're not trying to do everything at once, but what we are doing is reaching out little by little. We have a 5-year strategic plan that we are working on, and we'll be completing it by the end of this month. But this is what we are going to. We said by the end of the 5 years, we want to reach to all of the 15 county capitals with water supply through the pipe system. And that's what we're working on. Why it is cost intensive, why it is difficult, but that's the challenge we agree to take on, and that's why we are facing heads on.
Okay. Yeah, Moses.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, you talk about an increase in revenue generation. Since it came, you guys have been able to a little over $600,000, from collections, for services rendered, and people are making payments. So the ordinary Liberian listening to you wanting to have access to safe water, what is the average cost for monthly service?
Monthly water bill.
Yes, the average cost.
So we have two different types of, well, we have two different types of connection. We have people who have meter connection, and we have people who we put on flat rate because they don't have meters. So flat rate customers, we have no means of measuring what quantity of water they use. So the cost for them is $30 a month, 30 US dollars. For meter customers, on the average, they pay $12. So it depends what quantity of water you use, and that is for the meter reading. So for meter customer, the a gallon of water will cost 0.005 cents. And in Liberian dollar, that is around 4 Liberian dollars, 4 to 5 Liberian dollars. The businesses have different costs, industries have different costs. And so for average Liberian, the cost is not much, depending on the size of your family and your water consumption pattern. So on the average, we will say that would be around 10 to 12 US dollars.
Okay, Mr. MD, you spoke about a situation that is confronting the LWSC now that you are working on, the rupture. How much is it costing you to get it, to get that, to address the problem? How much is it costing you?
Trust me, George, every rupture on the 36-inch pipe is expensive. And just the capacity to do the repairs is something that Water and Sewer itself does not have. The current rupture, the assessment the contractor did is costing us a little over 85,000 US dollars. And that is because the rupture happened under the train track in Louisiana. And the train track is like a hill, and the pipe is way under there. So they needed to excavate very deep and then go into the pipe to conduct the the repairs. If you don't mind, I could send you some of the video and see the kind of work that the contractors are doing. So this current rupture is costing around $85,000. The current rupture.
$85,000.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also spoke about the demolition of some structures that has been, posing some problems to your operations. Do you have up head how many structures have you demolished now? And before the demolitions, what were the arrangement, that you had with the owners of those structures?
I wouldn't know how many structures, but on the issue of what discussion we had with the owners of the structures, I would say the Ministry of Public Works, we contacted them and they went ahead and marked the structures. We did not have any much discussion with them other than the fact that they were in violation of a 1953 presidential proclamation, which criminalized the construction of any structure on a major sewage line or a major water line. And let me explain the background to this. The Liberian government under President Tubman in 1952 decided to construct a water supply network. They also decided to construct a sewage network in Monrovia. And that sewage network spanned from Bushro Island all the way to Old Road. President Tubman then set up a permanent claims commission. That permanent claim commission called everybody whose land or property were to be affected. The government paid everyone. The government did not only pay people, but they bought the land. So everywhere you see a major water pipeline or a sewage pipeline, the government bought 15 feet of that land. So those places are public utility alleyway. By then, everyone were under all of these utility or SOE were under one authority called the Public Utility Authority. So that was the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, and the Liberia Electricity Corporation. So everywhere you saw water line, there was a telephone line and there was an LEC line. After so 1953, they did a construction. 30 years later, there was major rehabilitation and reclamation of those land because, like now, people started constructing. And the then managing director, Francis Braw, demolished structures. And people went to court and they were able to show all the presidential proclamation and they showed documents to prove the government purchased the land. And so that those land that we are demolishing structures on, they are alleyways. They are public utility alleyway, and it's criminal for anybody to construct on them. These are some of the construction that caused persistent spillage of sewage in the streets of Monrovia, because all of those alleyways have manhole. These are the manhole that we use to clean the sewage system. When you construct on these lines, we lose our ability to access the manhole, and therefore we lose our ability to clean the sewage system. And that's why you saw consistent spillage. And we came to the realization that until we can demolish these structures, we're not going to solve the spillage of sewage in the streets of Monrovia. And so we wrote the Ministry of Public Works. We're able to show to the Ministry of Public Works that these are public utility alleyways and nobody was supposed to construct them. Public Works went ahead, we identified the structure, they marked them, and we're doing the demolition. So it's not something like, somebody built here and that land, you're taking that land from them, you have to pay for it. No. Those are government alleyway, nobody is supposed to construct them.
Okay, so very shortly, by 9:15, we should be ending the discussion on the LWSC, and then we transition. But before Moses can come in, you spoke about the demoralization of the staff you met when you took over the Mark tour of the LWSC. How much did you do to build the morale once again? How did you do it, and what did you do exactly to build the morale amongst the staff?
So, two things can demoralize staff from my observation. The first one, the major one, is when people are working and they're not taking their salaries. Number two, people go to work and they don't have any work to do. They get demoralized because they are not improving their professional capacity. It's not improving in everything. So normally, the Ministry of Finance will give subsidy, operational subsidy, to the LWSC. the LWSC is supposed to pay its own salaries. But then we met a workforce that became so huge, and the wage bill became very, very huge. We met a wage bill of 382,000 a month. And our collection per month is less than half of that. So what we did was to write the Ministry of Finance and made a commitment, a written commitment, that look, the subsidy you are giving us, we want to use that subsidy to service our staff salary. Our operational funds, we will fight to increase our revenue. We will improve in our revenue collection efficiency, and we will be able to, provide funds for our own operations. The Ministry of Finance, then under former Minister Boima Kamara, agreed. And so we started using that money to pay our staff salary. And then we started raising funds for our own operations. So once the staff were getting salaries consistently, they became happy. I can tell you, since we took over the Wellabro Water and Sewer Corporation, from our tenure, we don't owe staff any month or any day of work for the work that they've done. They are passing. The next thing is that we put the staff to work there now to do. People are in the field working, people in every department, they're working, and so they feel motivated to work. You work, you get your salary. With the current Ministry of Finance, the Minister Gafuan, when he came, we made the same commitment to him, and thankfully he accepted. So once the staff, they are getting their salaries, and not only that they are getting their salaries, but they are getting their salaries on time, and they have work to do, they are motivated. And that's why we are seeing mask improvements in the output of the LWSC.
Okay, Moses.
Yes, Mr. MD, let me ask you this compound question. I just want to piggyback on what you said, the issue of salary. And I definitely agree with you. You know, when people work, they need to be compensated. I was talking to you. If I work for you, I don't want to be worrying whether I will get paid every 2 weeks or I will get paid monthly. When I check my account, I want to see that money. So let me hear from you, your technicians at Water and Sewer, or the average employee at Water and Sewer. What is the salary for the lead person at Water and Sewer?
Well, normally salary issues, people like to keep them confidential, but the least salary I believe is around $200. The least salary for janitors, security personnel is around 200.
Okay. So
That's the least.
yeah, it is Mr. MD it's good to hear that. I think your average pay exceeds the national government average pay because the national government is $150 a month. So the least person
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the reason why it's like that,
Mhm.
normally the public utility like water and sewer, people work 7 days a week. So for example, the repairs team, the leak repair team, they work around the clock. The team at White Plains, the team that treats the water for supply, they have to work every day. They cannot have day off. But what we do is to put them in shift. Some will work 2-3 days and then they have to rest like 2-3 days and all that kind of stuff. Because if everybody goes for weekend, then then that means weekend you will not get water supply. If everybody goes and sleep after 5 o'clock, then we'll have more leaks in the street than we can control, and that will cause us serious headache. And I can tell you this, one of the challenges we have, which is very major, is something we call non-revenue water. That is water that we produce, but we don't get revenue for. Some of them goes to leak, a huge percentage of that, and then the other one go to water theft. Yeah, people can steal current. In fact, they can steal water more than they can steal current. On the average, we are producing around from White Plains, we are pumping around 5 million gallons a day, and by the end of the month, you're talking around 155 million gallons. You won't believe that 67. In fact, when we took over, almost like 80% of that water was going to waste. Now we've minimized it. We're now down to 67% from calculation yesterday. And by the end of the year, we want to reduce that significantly. So those are challenges that we have that makes it almost impossible for us not to work 7 days a week. And so, people need to be compensated handsomely for the work they do.
Okay.
And so quickly, so please, just quick question, Mr. MD, you talk about rejuvenating the spirit of your employees. Besides salaries, what other benefits these people receive from what and so?
So now our staff, they're not getting any extra benefit for now. Before, they used to get benefit, but with the current financial position, it's impossible to get benefit other than the fact that those that are in senior and junior management position, they get something small for communication and little gas here and there for transportation, but generally they are not getting benefits here, and I wouldn't sit here to lie about that. When we improve our financial position, is part of the plan to reintroduce benefits, because benefits were there, staff were getting benefits before.
Okay.
Go ahead, Saba.
Okay. Let's try to play this. Let's try to upload this video, and after which we can transition. This video has to do with some of the works being done by the LWLC. Let's watch it.
You put left. Mejor put right 那个 Kangaroo， 不是 Kangaroo， 走个这儿 go， 再 go。是到不会接吧？这个比较 small。OK。你切图，wash， 转给比汉。
Okay, let's try to hear from the MD. MD, what is that? Because we just heard this man speaking foreign language. What was he saying? And what are they doing?
So that guy is a Chinese. He's actually speaking English, but you wouldn't understand. Now they are first clearing within the pipe. So that pipe you see there, so it's underground. If you watch the video clearly, they even have a fan there. So they have to excavate for the people to go into the pipe. Now they have to clear in that pipe, clean it up, and then start the work. So it's a cleaning up they were doing. The guy you see working, there are two of them. They are weathers, but they are specialized kind of weather. These are guys who can do diving, welding. So like they can go underwater to do welding. And there are just a few of them here. We have two normally that we contract. There are not many. I don't know if they are training some of them. We have plans to train some of them. So whenever we have these kind of technical welding issues, they are the one we hire. So the contractors hire them, and they're just telling them where and what to do under the pipe there. But that pipe you see is underground. It's under the train track. So where you see the people standing, this was another rupture that we had to repair. So and if you put up the other picture, I will show you the spot that they had to cut to go into the pipe under the elevation, and on top of that pipe is the train track. And so we have to dig under the train track and to dig under the train track again. So you see over there, we needed to cut that space for the guys to go in that space and go into the pipe under the train track. To excavate under the train track, we needed to get permission from the Ministry of Transport. So now they were sealing that place up after they've gone through the welding within the system. And these are just equipment that you see. So all these things made it expensive. Just the personnel cost for that, because you wouldn't find many persons who have training in doing no kind of specialized welding.
Okay. All right. Thank you, MD. Thank you very much for bringing us up to speed. Moses, we're about to transition now. So viewers kindly share the show. We have on the show the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mo Ali. Share the show. Just tap on your phone, Pram FM Monrovia 105.5, or your laptop that you have with you, Pram FM Monrovia 105.5. Currently tonight we are streaming live. We are live on the YouTube. Just go in the search column and tap Nighttime Heat, and of course you're going to follow this discussion with the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. Well, Mo Ali, as we all know him, he's been one of the major fighters. In fact, one of the men who was always in the trenches, always making sure that policies are all penned together and efforts are all made to get the Unity Party up to the executive mansion. And of course, they've succeeded. The UP is now at the presidency. So Mo is here to tell us also more about basically some of the rescue. They came on the mantra of change. They said what the former government was doing wrong. That there was bad governance, corruption, and you name them. And so they said they were coming in to rescue our people from the hands of the CDC government. Now that Mo is here, let's ask Mo. First, kindly help us to understand, kindly help us to assess the performance of your government a little over 1 year.
George, thank you. Thank you very, very kindly. Look, I am a member of the government, and like you said, one of those who campaigned for 6 years for the success in the elections. And we campaigned on the mantra of rescue. We said the rescue mission. We came to rescue this country, and we came to rescue many sectors. On the average, I would say in 16 months, our performance is very, very good. If I were grading, I would grade ourselves between 85 to 90%. And I'll tell you why. If we were to look at
indications as well.
Yeah. If we were to look at sector by sector and all of these things, we're doing very well. You want to even start up with the bread and butter issue with civil servants. Look, government took over, and the first budget was not a budget that we had so much say in, but in our very second budget, we promised we were going to gradually revise or reverse the entire thing of harmonization. What did we do? Through the innovation of the finance minister, the Ministry of Finance budgeting, we increased salary on the minimum for 22,000 civil servants whose salaries were slashed by the past government. What did we do? Police officers who've never benefited from insurance in this country. 5,000 police officers, we placed them on insurance, life insurance, health insurance, and everything. Today, I live right behind the police barrack, and I hear police officers say for the first time, "Oh, I come and go to hospital on my health benefit, on my insurance benefit," and they are very excited about that. Health workers, we made sure to increase the minimum, at least some health workers who were way down the ladder. But we also did not stop there. Doctors, professional doctors, consultants, medical consultants, they also increased their little thing they're taking home. And the other thing is nobody has to make noise about salary. I'm not sure when was the last time people complain about, "Oh, we're not getting paid, we're not getting paid." As a matter of fact, people get paid way ahead of time, and they can now complain, "Oh, we take pay too soon, and our money finished."
Mr. Minister, let me hold you briefly, please. Mr. Managing Director, please. Will you be talking about the issue of increment in salaries, or we do expect that you'll be talking about how you restore people to pre-harmonization status, because this is something that you can ping strongly against and say, well, the harmonization, the cutting of the people's salary was something inappropriate. And you say if you had come to power, you would have restored that. Instead of doing that, you are telling us tonight about increment, Mr. Director General, Mr. Managing Director.
So the way to reverse harmonization is to increase salaries, because some of that salary the people cut. So to restore the salary, you got to increase it. And it's not something that you are just going to do.
You are not increasing it to pre-harmonization.
You will not just come back today and say, "Oh, the way they did the harmonization is automatically reversed and everybody goes back." First, you have to conduct an assessment and a study to tell you to what extent the harmonization was done by the past administration. And then you put into place mechanism to reverse that harmonization. Remember, we said we are rescuing the country. What does it mean? It means that so many things were done that we have to reverse and put the country back on track. And so if we increase the salary of 22,000 civil servants, that is the beginning of the reversal of harmonization. And again,
but you are Mr. MD, you are increasing, and you are not increasing to take them to pre-harmonization status. Rather, you are giving them top up.
But remember, George, remember that it is a process that we will reverse within the 6-year period of our administration. We are going to reverse it. But again, when you take over a country where many things were left undone, we saw rules and everything. Today, you look at the status of these things. And besides that, what previous government would depend on international aid and support, we see how it is fast dwindling. It means that we have to increase our revenue collection, and we all have to do so and consider the priorities that we have. Now, reversing the
So,
harmonization.
Mr. MD, in another word, you are providing justification, you are providing excuses for why you can, take our civil servants to pre-harmonization status because,
Josh, George,
it's
can
not
I
coming.
ask a question?
Yeah,
What
go ahead.
what do you consider increment in salary for 22,000 civil servants? 22,000 civil servants whose salaries were harmonized and their salaries are now being increased. How do you consider that, if not
Is that harmonization?
Huh?
Is that harmonization, Mr. MD?
No, it's not harmonization, it's de-harmonization, it's reversal of harmonization. And that's what we're talking about. And this is going to happen, and people and even forget about pre-harmonization. The intent is to satisfy worker to the extent that their take-home salary will be able to satisfy them, even maybe beyond what pre-harmonization was. That is the intent, and that's why we are working so hard to open
So
up.
let me ask you before. Let me ask you before. Let me ask you before Moses come in, Mr. Mo Ali. Again, like we said, you wanted a major figure in the ruling Unity Party. In fact, you have the cloud. I mean, you are very influential. Can you give us a timeline to say, look, George, between now and a year, we'll take our people back to pre-harmonization, because this is something that we spoke bitterly against.
No, so Josh, I cannot sit here as a person who is not a financial expert to tell you that. But what I can tell you is that when we do have conversation with our finance people, with our colleagues at the Ministry of Finance, they tell us that harmonization will be a thing of the past by the time we complete this thing. And that's what I can tell you.
By the time we complete it. Okay, Moses.
Yeah, look, Summer, I'm laughing because I'm sure the MD will agree with the two of us. When the MD, President Boaka, and the others, when they were campaigning, the key word was we will restore to pre-harmonization. That was the key word.
Yes, that was the key word. But that key word did not say. That key word did not say.
MD, just a moment. You said you were going to restore. So a gradual increment in salary is not restoration to pre-harmonization. You said you knew the data. When you were campaigning, you came across as if you knew the data. You knew the problem. You understood how you were going to undo what it did. That was the promise. So if I was earning $200 and those people reduced my money to $100 a month, you gave me the assurance that immediately you take over, I will start earning $200. You come give me $25 pay raise, and so, oh, well, we're doing it gradually. MD.
So can I come in?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, we said during campaign that we will reverse harmonization gradually. We did not say that the moment we take over, the next day we will reverse harmonization completely. So let me say this. It's like we took time to build Liberia, to put it to where it was before 1990. And we came with the same Liberians. We took 14 years to destroy almost everything. And when we took over in 2006, we said, look, we will put the country back on track. We will build things. That did not mean that we're going to build the country in 6 years or we're going to rebuild the country in 6 years. We should understand that the easiest thing to do on earth is to destroy. And the most difficult thing to do is to rebuild. You can build something, and it gets destroyed in minutes. And you say, I will rebuild it, right? It takes time to rebuild. So what I am saying is that harmonization may have been done within a twinkling of an eye, but it does not mean that to restore will be done within the same twinkling of an eye. It takes a lot of economic factors that go into it, lots of study to completely reverse it. And that's why we said we will do it gradually. And that is the gradual process that we started by increasing civil servant salaries.
Okay, so let's yeah.
So please, just give me a few seconds. MD.
Yeah.
Again, Water and Soil is doing a great job at the national level. The national government is paying at least civil $750 US a month. Let's.
I didn't get your premise.
Okay, no, that's what I was saying. Water and Soil is doing a great job. You pay the average technician or the average employee at Water and Soil $200 gross, right? The national government, according to the Minister of Finance, the lease pay is $150 US gross. So, take for example, say you have someone who lives in Ghana. After taxes, this person is taking home hypothetically $125 US a month. So, MD, you live in Liberia, you know it better than I do. It's $125 US a month, a livable wage.
So before I come to answer your question, I'll say this. And you know, while you were laying your premise, you brought something to my mind on why, in fact, the reversal of harmonization has to be gradual. We have to do it gradually. We should first answer the question, what led the CDC government to do harmonization? When they took over, my understanding was that the wage bill annually was around 297, 298 million. What did they do? They saw government as a dumping ground for employment of their partisans. So they over-bloated the payroll. They employ people everywhere. Water and Sewer is an example of that. They employ people everywhere. So when they employ people everywhere, they carry the wage bill up to 330 million. Something that they could not maintain. Now they were required, from our understanding, to bring the wage bill down. World Bank, IMF were putting pressure. So what did they have to do? They had to introduce this so-called harmonization, which actually was the harmonization, because harmonization, in the sense, in my understanding, was you want to equalize salaries. So, for example, people who are at master degrees level in government, you say, okay, well, master degree holder, this is your beginning salary. But you find in institutions that fluctuated. BSc, this is your salary. So the intent of harmonization should be less equity. Directors, Administrator of Finance, Director, Administrator of Public Works, they all should make director salaries. If there are some incentives because of the work. So when they carry up like that, the number of civil servants increased, then they were forced to drastically reduce salaries. We inherited that bloated payroll, the huge number of civil servants. So if you are restoring harmonization, I mean, if you are reversing harmonization and you want to do it automatically, then you will go to a process where you need to sack plenty of people who were just brought in, qualified or unqualified. As a government, these are Liberians. You don't want to do that. And so what you do, you build up the economy, you increase your revenue and accommodate everyone and begin to increase the salaries gradually. That's how you can reverse it without having any mass dismissal of Liberians in government. I tell you an example, even Water and Sewer. When they took over in 2018, the wage bill for Water and Sewer was between $150,000 to $275,000 a month. When back then, the number of employees were around 200. When we inherited Water and Sewer, we met 622 employees. From 200 to 622. Wage bill from 150,000 to 382,000. Under that condition, you cannot easily restore the salaries as they were. And so that's why we say it has to be a gradual process so that you do not affect the people who are dependent on government for their living. Now, to the question of $125 a month, look, it is difficult to survive on $125, but again, the economy dictates what happens. And that is the reason why this government is working assiduously hard to open up the economy by constructing rules. We are trying hard to begin to attract investment, open up the investment space so that you can have more companies coming in, create more jobs. Simple as that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Director, Mr. Managing Director, one of the things that this government campaigned and promised the Liberian people is the issue of job creation. You've been in power 1 year plus now. How many jobs, if at all, because you are in government, you've been discussing with your colleagues as well, you go to major meetings, has this government created for our people?
Honestly, I have not laid on that statistics. I have to speak with our colleagues at ListGIS and maybe the people at the PDU that are tracking that. So I cannot sit here and say we've created this number of jobs. But what I can tell you is that definitely we are creating jobs for Liberians outside of government. If you went all over the country, you see massive road rehabilitation, massive road construction. These are job creating activities. We are opening up the agriculture space. You go everywhere in this country, the Ministry of Agriculture is doing very, very well. People are engaging into farming activities because the agriculture space is opening up. The last time I saw the Ministry of Agriculture cultivating, supporting farmers, they are cultivating huge farmland, swampland everywhere, and people are harvesting very, very hugely. The government in this budget year has provided money to create short-term jobs for more than 1,000 young people across the country, and they will begin to roll out that under the auspices of the Ministry of Youth and Sports this May month. And so there are job creation activities here and there because of all of these development work that are ongoing. But I am sure ListGIS is tracking the number of people, and I am going to ask them as well for us to have that data. But by the
Okay.
time we can end this budget year, we will be able to tell the Liberian people exactly the number of jobs that we've created, both in the private sector and in the public sector.
Okay. Can you also tell us tonight, Mr. Managing Director, as to how many investors we have now? Because there's been criticisms that this government has not brought in a single investor.
So you see, the government is going to be in power for 6 years. So the first thing we had to do was to engage with the current investors, review the investment portfolio. For example, in the mining sector, the government, the president gave an instruction to review all of the MDAs, beginning with the B Mountain, the Bear Mountain in Cape Mount, the other concession agreement. And as you are aware, the government is currently negotiating with Metal Steel for renewal of their MDA. We all know they signed up. The current MDA will expire, I think, in 2029 or so, because it was for 25 years. You first have to clear all these things, but I can tell you that the government is frantically working, and there are investors lined up. The last time I checked with the National Investment Commission, in all sectors, investors are lined up to come in the agricultural sector, in the mining sector. They are lined up. So I can assure everyone that before the end of this year, when we get into next year, you're going to see plethora of investment activities all over. For example, the agriculture, the poultry farm in Carisburg, the president recently visited. That is going to come online. And I know people will say, oh, that I just started. No, we have been the one to initiate it. But when we came on board, the kind of climate we created, hastening the operation of that poultry farm. But there is also another poultry farm now operating in Bomi County, and it's producing eggs. It's created jobs for people. The farming activities all over. And so, look, all of these investment activities, the kind of smooth operating investment climate we are creating here, by the end of the year, getting into next year, you will hear big news about investment coming into the country.
So in other words, Mr. MD, you are saying that investors are lined up, though they haven't come. So the criticism that the government has not brought in a single investor is just a reality.
No, it's not a reality. You see, the way we see things is, by the time you come in, then you say, oh, you now bring this one, you got to bring this one within 1 year. Josh, it does not work like that. You engage the people, you sell your country, you make the country marketable, and investors come and see how conducive it is to invest. Then they begin to invest. I mean, low-key investment, low-key investments have been coming. We're talking about attracting investment on very large scale. Those are the things we are talking about. And that's why I said, by the end of this year, next year, you will see huge investment activities, particularly now that we are opening the roads, we are stabilizing the electricity sector. These are things that normally drive away investors, but we are now stabilizing all of these things, and so there will be investment.
Okay, Moses.
Mr. Ali, Let's move on to rule of law, and I really want to focus on you as an individual. Research has shown that no society thrives where the rule of law is not respected. Under rule of law, everyone is treated fair, everyone is answerable, and, everyone is held accountable. The country where I live in, that's why the society is making so much progress. And let me ask you, because I was looking through um, the Unity Party, their agenda, for 6 years, for the 6 years. Rule of law is one of those cardinal pillars you people have written there. Let me begin with you, Mr. Ali. Do you respect the rule of law?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why would it not?
Okay. I ask these questions because your answer contradicts some of your activities. And let me take you to Nima County, the most recent one. Liberia has a code of conduct, right? And that code of conduct, section 5.1, speaks against political appointees engaging in political activities. It prohibits that you, the managing director at the LPRC, and other political appointees violated the code of conduct. You were in Nima campaigning. Does that show that you respect the rule of law?
Mr. Sandy.
Yes.
So first, for you to conclude that anybody violated a law, that anybody violated a code of conduct, then it means that the court or the ombudsman has found the person guilty of that violation. You see, the intent of the code of conduct is not to stop politicians from participating into political activities. I challenge anybody to say that. The sole intent of the code of conduct is to prohibit political appointees from using state resources for canvassing and for political activities. Mr. Sandy, just the name tells you that the people are politicians. You hear the word political appointee. How can anyone on earth tell somebody who is a political appointee not to participate in politics?
So, excellent question. Yes, excellent question.
So there is no violation there. We did not go to Nimba to participate in canvassing using state resources. All we did was to declare support for our preferred candidate, and we say we support you. Unity Party declares support for you. We declare you today as the Unity Party's candidate. Nobody saw us in the street campaigning. Nobody saw us anywhere in any political rally in Nima. I challenge that. But even if we did that on a weekend, Mr. Sandy, it's not working hour, and that's another intent of the code of conduct, because it will be corruption when I am using my working hour that I am paid for by the Liberian people to go and campaign from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Nobody from the Unity Party used any working hour to campaign. That's one thing, and that's one thing the code of conduct set out to discourage. The second thing is, this was on a weekend. Nobody has the right to tell me what to do with my time on the weekend. I chose my weekend to go to Ganta. and endorse a candidate that I supported in the senatorial election. It was not working time. It was not working hour. It wasn't even on a working day. And so I do not see any violation. If anybody felt that we had allegedly violated the code of conduct, what you needed to do was to complain to the ombudsman office, and then they will call us and investigate, and we will go there with our lawyers. That's why they set up the ombudsman office, and one of the first things to tell you that we respect the rule of law that we did was to set up the ombudsman office and appointed people there who will be the guardians of the code of conduct. In the absence of the ombudsman office finding us guilty for violation, nobody can say we violated code of conduct.
Okay, very shortly open the lines. Because this is we have to open the lines very shortly.
I just wanted to piggyback on please, Summer, please let me just piggyback on Mr. Ali's double standard. The United Party is on record. When Mr. Ali and the others came to the leadership of Liberia, what did they do? They went to the Good Governance Commission, the former chair of the Good Governance Commission, the Bouakai administration. This guy had a tenure position. They used the code of conduct. They accused the mayor of campaigning. They accused him of campaigning. And they dismissed him. And Mr. Ali is telling me, if you read the code of conduct, there's nothing in the code of conduct that say, oh, well, you can work Monday through Friday, and on a weekend you can go campaign as a political appointee. The code of conduct, section 5.1, Mr. Ali, if you read that, it says political appointees are prohibited. It doesn't say you can use a non-working day. It says prohibited. So for you to tell me that it is not good for you to campaign, but when you guys came to the leadership, you dismiss somebody from the CDC and you accuse this man of what? Campaigning. How you reconcile that?
I am not reconciling anything, Mr. Sandy, because like I said, in order to prove that somebody is guilty, the person must have gone through a process or due process. Now, you are claiming that somebody was dismissed from the governance commission.
It's not claiming, it's public record. It's public information. I'm not claiming.
Akami. So here, there are institutions that when you are at, it limits your participation in politics. For example, if you are in a military organization, that limits your participation in politics. Medical associations, even the constitution forbids you from participating in politics. The Governance Commission, the LACC, the GAC, the Elections Commission, these are integrity institutions. When you are at these institutions, it forbids you from participating in politics. But it's not when you are managing director of Wharton Siwa, a political appointee, when you are Minister of Labor, Minister of Public Works, political appointees. It's forbidden to use influence of your position to make people to vote. It's forbidden for you to use your resources from your entity to go and canvass. If somebody says I violated the code of conduct, it's simple. Complain to the ombudsman office. You see, we'll be arguing on this, Mr. Sandy, back and forth. If the ombudsman office are not existed, we'll say, okay, let's go to the court, but the ombudsman office is there. And so to charge me of violating the code of conduct, good, that is your charge. But because we wanted the code of conduct to be protected, that's why we set up the ombudsman office. And they are working.
Okay.
There are 3 great people of integrity, independent people that are there. That's what I have to say about that.
Okay, Mr. MD, very shortly open the lines, but just take this last question before we open the lines. There has been this ongoing debate. I'm sure you're following that as well, with some individuals indicating that there's no project absolutely that your government has or has initiated. All the projects so far that you are working on are projects that date back to the days of the CDC, and you are just continuing those projects. What do you have to say?
So I guess when they talk about project in this case, mostly they're talking about the road projects. And you know, just yesterday, the Minister of Public Works was on the radio. They said, oh, you know, most of the project you're doing now, that CDC project. I will name a few projects that the UP government initiated. The CDC government came because of mismanagement and other things. They could not even complete. Everyone was in this country when we broke ground for the construction of an asphalt road from Banga to Salaye, from Salaye to Menikoma in Lofa County. In fact, President Sirleaf invited then opposition leader George Weah to that groundbreaking ceremony. They took over 6 years. They neglected that project. They could not pay the resettlement allowance, something for those who were affected, their properties were affected. They could not service the loans that we took to initiate that project, and that project went dead. We came back to power. We reinitiated that project. The Ministry of Finance is making payment. They've renegotiated with the lenders, the financiers, the ARA fund, and that project is back on course. Now, when somebody goes there and see the people constructing the road, they say, oh, that was CDC that did it. No, that's not a CDC project. You go to the road construction from Sanikole to Logatwo. That's something that we initiated, source funding for. What happened? CDC came there 6 years. They could not complete that. We are completing it. Then you come to even the Southeastern Corridor, the Minister of Finance talked about yesterday. These are projects from Ganta to in fact, to Zwedru, from Sakepie to Ganta. No, from Sakepie to Zwedru, from Ganta to Sakepie. We initiated discussion on them. We got commitment from the World Bank. They came in. What did they do? They could not live up to certain commitment, and so the Sakepie to Zwedru, they had to break it into half, and they started doing so. Got the commitment now, final commitment from the World Bank, did a procurement, and they started doing from Ganta to Tapeta. What we did, we came in, renegotiated, we added back the Zwedru component of it. Is that how you call CDC project? Let's go back to the Southeast. The entire stretch from Fishtown, in fact, from Kedipo Kaweken to Hapo, only 20 kilometers they did. Before we left, we did from Hapo to Fishtown. We are source funding for the rest of the other projects. Did they complete it? Absolutely not. And so what is the project that that was CDC project? Local, for example.
But all those projects, Mr. Moali, all those projects you are making reference to were projects that you initiated when you had former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We're talking about projects that you've initiated with President Boubacar being the head of the government.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Ali.
Hello.
Yes, okay. So we are saying the projects you are making reference to were projects that were initiated when former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the head of the government. We are talking about projects that you have initiated with President Boubacar being the head of the government now.
You're talking about projects that we have initiated now?
Thank you. With President Boubacar being the head. We are not talking about the projects that you initiated 12 years when former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the head of the government.
So, you know, George, the way people want development to happen, their logic is, we came in, all of the ongoing projects that were initiated from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to George Weah, we abandoned them and start new projects. So when we fade away as a government, another government comes in, they will abandon them and start new ones. Then you will have the entire Liberia filled with uncompleted projects. As a responsible government, and we say government is continuity, what we do is to first complete those projects while initiating new ones. For example, the community roles that we're doing, you go to the entire Matadi now, old Matadi, new Matadi, who initiated them? Was it past government? You go on the old road, we are clearing alleyways and going to put asphalt there. Who initiated them? Was it past government? The re-initiation of the Banga to Medicoma, the Minister of Finance led a team recently, along with the Minister of Public Works, to go and renegotiate for funding for the Banga to Medicoma road. Who initiated that? That project was dead. The funders that said will not get us sent again. It's our initiation. We have gone there and recommitted to all of these things. So,
okay.
Lots of community roles ongoing. So it's our initiation. And we will complete the old ones. You can leave half project here, you go and do different one. You need half project, so I say, your project role. You do not build a country like that. That's not how it happens.
Okay, Mr. MD, let me try to take calls quickly. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. That's the number to call, and you are live. Let's take this first call on the line. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, okay. Good evening. Oh, let's take this call on the line quickly.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. George.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
So good evening, Honorable Mo Ali, Managing Director. My name is Bafi S. Duple. I joined the conversation tonight from Cleverton, District 14. Well, Honorable Managing Director, let me appreciate you for actually your presentation. You know, these things are not surprising to us because we know how combative you are. But I'm just unfortunate. The panel is particularly Mr. Sandy. Government is continuity, like Mo Ali has said. Government is continuity. So there is the difference between mature and unmature government, immature government, right? So this government we presented the platform on the basis of maturity and the basis of execution. So under no condition that projects that are needed, projects that people are needed. Like for instance, only something the more of me, for example, Baka manifesto was low, and low. So all of those projects, considering government is continuity, do you think that Moses, really, you think that Baka as sound, right? You know the party, government as a sound government will linger those projects and go do something else that cannot be completed when the manifesto of the people, the people that are in the project, road project. So, I mean, no matter what.
Okay. You made a point. Let's take this call on the line. Hello? Hello? Oh, we need to check our line quickly. Hello? Hello? Well, good evening. Good evening. Okay, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, my name is President Bunker Toothbrush. I'm calling from this Larry.
Okay, let's hear from you quickly.
Okay, thank you for the comprehensive discussion. Let me say, you see, this people there, they always complain because number one, from the beginning of the president, they say that the president will not do anything for the country. So now, the president tries to carry some development on the own project. You don't expect for your project, the president will find your project and start different project. It don't make sense. So they can start from where you stop, the NA, and it's doing their own thing. So as you can see, the president is trying his best on the country. So the only thing I want to tell that let's keep praying for our nation to see the best for our nation. Whether like Papi at 80 years, 90 years, whether they just pray the future of our country. Because now that grown now, our kids are coming up. They need to see the benefit of the country and they will not be blessed.
Okay. All right. You made your point. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
I'm Feki Cha calling from Lechekum Bolova.
Let's hear from you.
I would like to say thanks to the MP for his great job. And then the next thing, my attention due to what you said from the beginning of the show about Mr. Snow. You know, somebody good to keep setting people far away from you when you want to progress in life. Mr. Snow, he's one of the bad people that we have in Liberia here. They are not good. They are bad to our political process. And thank God that one by one, come 2020 now, we'll keep all of them out.
Okay.
For all of guys to allow me to speak, please. I told you, I'm the only female that can call.
Go ahead quickly. Go ahead quickly.
For all the female that share the same view with me.
Yes, go ahead quickly.
Allow me to speak, please. Please.
Go ahead quickly.
Mr. Snow, you saying that you are happy that he went to meet the president. A group of the president to keep Snow a star for him to focus on the Liberian people's job. Snow, Musa Belete, Funati Kufa, they are bad for our political process. They need to set a star. Let me tell you, I will look for money to come on your show to start educating our people how to vote.
Okay.
We not keep voting bad people into power for Liberia to keep going back. This is what they only care about themselves and their interest. Look at where Snow is. No go setting house when you were small, so I was small, woman. You go there, you see the German people. They build good hospital, they build school. The German people children were going to school there. The German king, they were in the hospital, they were working, treating our people. Go see in Bomi today. They even get certain high school. When he read it, he jumped on the other side to go run election. It was because of Joseph Barker Wilson that the country now went into chaos. Okay. You saw all that thing that were playing with aircraft coming up and down here. It was the hand work of Snow. You think we'll keep looking at people to keep our country back?
Okay.
We can't keep them. Let me let you know.
Okay, man.
The people in the horse, they see that Snow occupies today in aircraft. They follow the lower horse. He's senator. He should let us see go. If he won't let it go, one person that will wear aircraft and will take it off.
Okay.
You know what?
Thank you. You made your point already. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening.
Slava Josh.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Let me say good evening to His SLSA President Bakai and our workaholic MD in studio Mo Ali. Some of the captain from Profit this is 17.
Okay.
So I think many persons have brought the argument of our project. We should be grateful to God and Joseph Boga, His Excellency second, that this government have project. We don't have individual or individuals need written on a project. Look, the most say, I don't know anyone who understand what you call governance. We saw, we'll see what Ellen did yesterday. You began president today and abandon what the past administration did. You say you want to establish your own project. Are you want to develop the country? Okay, let's assume Joe have all the project in the country. And President Bouaka or Mo Ali is president today. So he must abandon all what he started, he never conclude. He start another one. How the country going to develop? No.
Okay.
The project on Joe Bouaka is not about more population. Testament of this is Christopoli in Broadway. Joseph Boga did not receive 200 votes, but guess what? The road connectivity and current are going Christopolis. It tell you he not doing project because he want vote for certain locality or certain constituent. He doing it because he want to serve the public. That is the intent of development in the country. It's not about civil servant, pay should go, or it should be about the liberate the national interest and the holistic interest.
Okay. Okay, make your point. Let's take this another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, this is Ava. You know, I do call it for balance. It will be 54 to be specific.
Okay.
Yes, when it comes to the land of project, I don't know why people keep joking and relating a project to a specific individual. We should understand that there is no precedent in this country on a project. The reason being that we all cannot be a person at the same time. That's why we select a one person and make that person the head of the state. So anything that person does, any project is the Liberian people project, is not an individual project. We always hear people talking, this is we are project, this is we are project. We are does not own a project, Nina and Joseph Baga own a project. Every project that the owner take or they are owner taking is the project of the Liberian people.
Okay. Okay, you made your point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, sir.
Yeah, so this is Isiaka Bayamushewi.
Okay.
I'm calling you from the Shepard.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to also say good evening to everyone. I want to appreciate you for the presentation. Very brilliant. So what I want to say to that is that the achievements of everyone is not question. Because every form of experience, they are all following what is good works at the end of the order is a very short period of time. Then seeing what we do downtown money, go down to the people go back to the independence and also the power of God. Expanded offering or benefit
okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. You made a point already. We made a point already. Let's take this call on the line. I'm sure it's a foreign call. Good evening.
Good evening, and thanks for taking my call, George.
Okay.
And that of your studio guest, of course, Mr. Sandy as well. This is Lofa Julius, and I call from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
Thanks for allowing me to be a part of the conversation tonight. Listening to Mo Ali in studio simply, just amplify the message that most Liberians speak of, that you can run a campaign based on propaganda. But once you have extended to that position, you cannot govern based on lies. And that is something that the likes of Mo Ali and others who are currently in government ran off. And today they are literally just running off with no idea as to what direction they want to take the country. And that's part of the reason why the likes of Mo Ali will criticize the previous government for having to dedicate hand pumps. Will today go and stand for photo ops and for the dedication of hand pumps? The likes of Mo Ali and other people who were criticizing President George Weah for the fact that he erected several buildings in less than 6 months. So they will try to shield the current president who is doing similar thing in Louisville County because he now resides in the county. The likes of Mo Ali who were out there claiming that the previous government was corrupt, today would not speak to the fact that they themselves have no regard for the rule of law. When you have tenured positions, people in tenured positions have been asked to leave those positions, and regardless of what is stated, they have no regard for that. These are the kind of things that happens when you have people who come to power with no agenda as to how you lead your country, because they are a bunch of leech and they only rely on government. Now, outside of government, they have no other way of survival. This is why Liberia continues to be.
Many thanks. Okay, we really appreciate your time this evening. Many thanks. And that was a foreign call from outside of the country. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. George, and good evening to our working MD Mo Ali. This is Mohammed S. Kone, and I call from Johnsonville.
Okay.
Thank you for the wonderful show. And I see Sidisha running on Facebook. We have projects. The only project that we know of where is those condos you build, those colorful rainbow houses and you build to we are built there, and that's a real project, and Nashville resident, that's a real project. But we all agree government is continuity. When United Party was leaving power 2018, everywhere we stopped, we negotiated for this project, we have money in place, CDC can stop on him. How many $1 million project we have initiated or completed 100%? It came in none, zero. That $100 million project. But we paid the road for Green Light all the way to Uganda that was over $100 million on us. Beyond that, when CDC was leaving power, they disgraced, they made money LWSC. The LWSC was completely damaged on Rana Kamara. When this man King Mo Ali, the visionary MD, ever in the history of water and sewer, who took over a broken system, no system in place, even infrastructure was nothing in place, salary business was up.
Hello? Yes, hello?
Sabo?
Yes, let's hear from you quickly.
This is Pascal Davis.
Okay, Pascal, let's hear from you.
Mo said we cannot speak to harmonization because he's not an expert. But yesterday, he criticized the process, even though he was not an expert. You know, Mo is full of these kinds of things. I mean, he's not there for that. Secondly, he said he was an ordinary citizen on weekend. So even if he raped on weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, he will be addressed as an ordinary citizen and not an official of government. That's more for you. So more. Street lights, community roads have no dividends. It has no economic benefit. And that's what CDC was involved with. How can you come now as the government who is so responsible, who's supposed to do things differently, is starting onto what CDC government that which you also consider as nothing. But he said those things that they did was done by the past government, by United Party government in the last 12 years. But Mr. Barker told us he was a race car parked in the garage in Mobile 5. He was not into what Madam Stanley was doing. He on record by saying I was a race car parked in the garage. How can you want to approve all these projects on a... But let me say this to him, Sombo.
Finally.
You know, many people in Liberia, they take advantage of it. More than take advantage of the electricity rate. You heard many of the callers here. The only thing they would say is say thanks to him. But Sombo, you were at LBS when all the press were ran in the ground, more right here, right to town hall, right to the minister complex. Press were being run in the ground. You didn't see it? CDC brought buses here. You didn't see it? Hospitals were made built. You didn't see it? But more consider those things as nothing. Today, he said, rule of law is respected. The president is respecting rule of law. And so even if you campaign, he has the right. But more, let me say this as I conclude.
Okay, let's take this call from outside quickly. This caller has been waiting on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, Sabot.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me say good evening to the MD Mo Ali and the other panelists on your show. Let me appreciate the MG for the level of work. My name is Chris Maker here, and I call you from Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
Sabot, you know, MD Mo said it right. I don't know which project in our country that the Unity Party never initiated over the 12 years. Sometimes I wonder when people say, oh, that George Weah project, that CDC project, as if they say here were even more than the 12 years that the Unity Party spent in office. So what? There's nothing in that country that the Unity Party never initiated in the last 12 years. Just that some of those things being happen right away for people to be able to see. But almost everything in that country, you know, when the Unity Party took over, the entire governance systems were already broken down. So they tried to repair everything. So there were negotiations and a lot of things happening in our country under President Sirleaf.
Okay.
And more than they are the agitator, the engineer, or all of things. And once CDC sometimes arguing that, oh, we get all the projects in the country, they lie to come to power and they cannot govern with lies. They are the liars. When you see Monrovia picture in the last 6 years, in the current picture today, outside country is far different. You know that the country is now on the right trajectory. But you will see people arguing it. Drug where were being rolled in our country. Where are the roads that were being in Central Monrovia? Everywhere in the city.
Okay, you made your point. Let's take this last call quickly. You made your point already. Thank you for calling from Nigeria. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, let's hear from you quickly. Okay, so far. Okay, let's.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Wow, the calls are still coming in here.
Thank you. Let me say good evening to you and the panelists.
Okay.
This is William Covey, and I joined this conversation from District 3. Well, let me say good evening to Walter Ali. I think he wouldn't have said anything better than what he said. And I must applaud you and Amos to you that was effective. Well, people say, you know, all of the project now the United Party government is initiating or imposing, it is from the CDC. So, by parity of their reasoning, the United Party is supposed to leave all of the projects that they met ongoing, so they should leave it and initiate their own. So I just laugh. So, look, it just like Liberia, you know, the Methodist stay behind. But where we supposed to have a national developmental plan.
Okay.
You will not bring your own agenda. The developmental plan that is been set by law, when you come in line with it. You're not going to say, oh, CDC took the road from here to Banga, so say, reach to Lupa, I will not continue, I will take Bombing Road. No, that's not how national development goes. So if there are questions there, why did you continue the Lupa County Road? Okay. Why did you continue the Ganta to Sakapie, the Harper to Kawakian? Why did you continue the ministerial complex? Those are projects, the new redemption hospital in Mukuta. Why did you continue it?
Because those are projects that were initiated by the United Party when you took over. You concluded everything, right? So now you're saying that the United Party should leave everything, and if the United Party initiated, go to Matale.
Okay, let's end there and take this last call on this another call from outside of Liberia. Let's take this call up quickly. Good evening. Hello. Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm
Good
okay.
morning, how are you?
Yeah, good morning from your end. Yes, how you doing? Your name and where you calling from?
Okay, I'm Prince Wellington Jimmy phoning from Turkey.
Okay, from Turkey. Okay.
Okay, let me extend my heart thanks and appreciation to Mr. Sober George and his team. And I want to say a heartfelt thanks to Mr. Mo Adi for the level of job he's doing in the country. We pray and hope that he do more and more. This is the Liberia that we all pray and we all been yearning for. This issue of a project, we are not running campaign on base, it's a project. We are trying to make sure Liberia gets to where it should be. We are trying to make sure Liberia becomes one of the best countries in the world.
Sure.
Mr. Mo Ali and his team, they are doing tremendous for the country. They're doing great for this country. Some people out of the country, some people in the diaspora here, they don't want to see Liberia going forward, but they feel proud living in the next country. Water should be our priority. And my advice to Mr. Mohamed Ali is that he should continue to do what he can do for the Liberian people and make sure water should be one of the cheapest things that every household in the country can afford, and stop being deterred by those guys opposite Lone Star. If we are out of those projects, the question is, who stopped we are for implementing the project within the past 6 years? We pray for Liberia. We should stop looking down on our country and put Liberia first than individual. We should always think Liberia. We should always love Liberia.
Okay.
And together we all can build Liberia.
Okay.
Thanks for the 40-minute time, and I do appreciate it.
Many thanks. Let's go back to our studio guest, Mr. Mo Ali, to respond if there's a need for that, or make some comments quickly, and then we take leave of him and we shut down the show quickly. Mr. MD?
Thank you, Josh. There are two callers I want to respond to. So first, let me say thanks to the many callers, and the message the callers are sending is very, very clear, that this government is doing well and that we should continue to do well. Let me talk to the guy that called from the US. And I'm sure that guy has not been to this country for many years. He said we dedicated hand pump. And when he showed me where we dedicated hand pump, because I'm sure somebody is feeding him lies. And they sit there and say, oh, you allowed to come to power, you can't allow to govern. Nobody allowed to come to power. The Liberians are not stupid people. Liberians can see, they can feel, they are human beings, very, very sensible human beings. Nobody will come out in campaign and lie to them, and they believe the lies. The people are on the ground, they saw what was happening. So I challenge him to tell me where we dedicated hand pumps. And then he said, oh, we criticize President Weah for building structures, condominiums in 6 months. And now Joseph Boakai is doing the same thing in your hometown. Again, it is an open challenge. It's easy to sit anywhere and call on the radio and spew out lies. I challenge him to show me one structure that Joseph Boakai, president of Liberia, has constructed for himself. I challenge him this to talk about his constructing building in Lofa for himself. That's never happened. Joseph Boakai been living in one house since 1986. He still lives in that same house. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the capacity to build other houses. He has properties, and that is the reason why he declared his assets. Not only that he declared his assets, he published his asset declaration. After the first 3 years, he will again declare his assets and he will publish them. So that guy will fly from the States to come here and show us where we dedicated. And then the other caller said, you know, people were arguing that, economic community rules do not have economic benefits. I'm not sure who said that. I'm not sure who made that argument. And so his argument is that now because somebody may have said community rules does not have economic benefit and we're doing community rules. But I think the message I got from him is that he is saying that we are doing very well with community rules and that people are very happy that we are paving their roads and we are rehabilitating roads around. And so, my brother, thank you. You have to come tell us who said community rules do not have economic benefits. But I don't know if I can close now.
Yes, before you close, let's just announce few of our viewers, please, before you close. Samuel Pedersen didn't say where he was watching from. Amos Godfavor Parker, Sele Kesali from Dupo Road, Dagago Hassan Famule didn't say where he's watching from. Pay Edward and Linda Woloba didn't say. Marcia Snelling didn't say. Zeze Roberts didn't say. Peggy Roberts didn't say. Theophilus Waters from Lower Johnsonville. Mohammed Connor didn't say where he's watching from. Khalifa Soma Jackson didn't say where he's watching from. Stephen Monday didn't say. Musa Gray didn't say. Telman Carlo Appeton, she didn't say. Shirley Poe from ERW Rock Hill. Janet Williams didn't say. Amos BN didn't say. Lena Pish didn't say. Romeo Clark didn't say. Andrew F. Fala didn't say. Sonita Crawford didn't say. Nida Hitchison didn't say. Vicky Ja didn't say where she's watching from. Ernest Johnson from Ganta Nimakani. Exodus Banyon didn't say. Matthew B. Dolo didn't say. Daniel K. Binda didn't he said he's watching from Red Hill Omega Community. Foliboli Kamara didn't say. Toba Junior didn't say. Harris Kamara didn't say. Joseph Faya didn't say. George Williamson didn't say where he's watching from. Teddy Amos Conto Jr. from Gardnersville. Patrick Logan from Maryland, USA. Joseph S. Namwe from Morovia. William Demon from USA. Roland Brown from Morovia, Liberia. J. William Yanti didn't say. Habaku Sise from Lofa County. Conwell Amos from Morris Farm. Ruben Papa Siga Dode. Moyan didn't say. Comfort Gifler didn't say. Selika Travari didn't say. Austin Davis didn't say. Maya Sharif from Banga City. And the rest, I can't name everybody here. So, more you can give your parting comment, and then we take leave of you quickly.
Thank you, Sobo. First, I want to say thanks again to the listeners, those listening on the radio, those watching. And I also want to say thanks to you and Mr. Sandy. It is a difficult thing to sit up at this time when you should be with your family and in the comfort of your home, where you are there informing the Liberian people about happenings in the country. And so I want to say continue the good work. We are available whenever you call on us. But again, I want to remind the Liberian people that the government is doing well and we will do our best by the time our tenure is over in 2029. So thank you again for the invite to appear on your show, and have a good night.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mo Ali, Managing Director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation. We really appreciate your being here tonight. And Moses, your parting comment?
Well, I want to say it was a great show. Thank you. Thank you, Sabah. Thank you, MD Ali, for honoring our invitation. I think it was a good discussion, even though we may disagree on some of the things that he said, but it's good to hear that Water and Sewer is making significant progress, and I wish him well. Whatever he continues to do at Water and Sewer. Thank you.
Okay, Moses, thank you. Listeners and viewers, we had this show on YouTube live tonight. So every night we'll make sure, every time we're on this show, I will always be on the YouTube live and also the Facebook. On behalf of the panelists, Fatima Bintu Salif couldn't be here today. She has been on an assignment. Moses Sani, my producers as well. Sabah George is my name. Join us, that is on Monday. Have a pleasant and godly weekend.